Game number 1, Phoenix versus War Legion. We have some outside bans. Phoenix banning out Leafeon, and then Charizard getting banned by War Legion.
We're seeing, we saw Leafeon and Charizard banned pretty much every time in the last set, so now that they're paper bans, they are not going to be played either in this time. So if you guys came to this tournament looking for some Charizard play, probably not going to get it. Similarly, Slowbro getting banned out once again. Very far and away the most broken defender in the game right now. Unsurprising to see that ban. Blaziken banned, as well as the Gyarados.
Yeah, Gyarados. Barry does not want to see that thing in that top lane, so not surprised at all. Combating that from War Legion, it's that Umbreon. Umbreon, that lockdown defender. We didn't see a ton of mean look this weekend. We saw a lot of these pro teams electing for foul play.
Yeah, that was really interesting for me as well, because mean look can lock down so many of those dive Pokemon that are really popular. But Umbreon getting banned out anyway, that means that Trevenant, the third most broken defender likely, is going to be that first pick. Egg gonna grab that one. We do have the A9 hovered, but of course not as soon as we were talking about how much we wanted A9 to come back. Of course it doesn't get picked. But the Hoopa Urshifu gonna be locked in.
Yeah, look at that little float stone action. If it stays on this person right now with that eject button, makes me think that is going to be Punchy Bear. You know, that single strike Urshifu. Luna and Ribbon. I'm really excited. One of my goats here, Ribbon, one of my casting partners, bringing me into the AUL. I'm excited to see what she's able to play. She's taken the Delphox.
Oh, there we
Spin
go.
to win, Husky.
So the paper bans from last time coming into this first game of Phoenix versus War Legion. Hoopa on War Legion's side and Ribbon picking up the Delphox. Also seeing a Wiggly, super fun pick, and the Snorlax going for the defender on War Legion.
Yeah, you know, more of that traditional defender, right? Doesn't output a lot of damage, but has a great utility with those stuns, either with that heavy slam, you could obviously go yawn, and then that block obviously is just so oppressive. And look at this, we have a speedster on speedster lockdown. It's going to be that Talonflame versus this Absol for Phoenix.
I really like the pickup of this Buzzwole. Well, I hate Buzzwole. If you guys know me, I really hate that thing. But I like in terms of competitive viability, I like this pick of Buzzwole into something like Talonflame, because the Talonflame's goal is going to be avoid some fire spins and jump on the Delphox. But Buzzwole can make that potentially more difficult. And in response, we see Greninja.
Ooh, yeah, not something you see a ton. There's some leaks apparently that they are going to be getting a battle pass soon, so you might start getting used to seeing it. Usually when we see Pokemon featured in a battle pass, they usually also get some nice, lovely buffs. And even before these buffs, I mean, you got that attack weight, still can output a ton of damage. And with some squishy Pokemon on the opposing side, you might see that Surf build. Sometimes you do see that Water Shuriken build when you have a little bit more bulk. So honestly, either way you go, I think could potentially work out for these two teams.
I would imagine Water Shuriken here, and the reason why is because of that front line. The Sing, Wiggly, and the Hornleash with the Trevenant, you don't want to get too close. So attacking from range is what I would go for, but it could be a Surf just to add some extra dive onto this Delphox, make sure they can't get the fire spins out. But we will have to see Hoopa and Snorlax bringing up that front line for War Legion. So some interesting picks here, not like a really insane healer like Eldegoss or Blissey coming out this time. Instead, we're going with the supports of Wiggly, Tough, and Hoopa. Should be pretty interesting getting into our game number 1.
Yeah, here we go. Absol on the left side for Phoenix, taking this jungle area. On the right side for War Legion, you do have Cubfu or Shifu looking to take that central area.
I imagine Hoopa's going to come in here for the red buff. Yes, they are. And Snorlax running down immediately into Phoenix's jungle, trying to jump on this Absol. Absol's going to be a difficult one to go up against. It looks like Phoenix is just going to let Absol try to deal with this on their own. Both getting pretty low. Snorlax having to pop that X speed, and it looks like Absol just going to be able to grab that blue buff.
Yeah, Snorlax able to, zone out a little bit, waste a little bit of time, slow down this clear for this Absol, which is always valuable, but it goes immediately down towards this bottom path where it's able to kind of stall out this breaks in from scaling up, but it is already level 4.
Already level 4 for the breaks in, which is really good. They do grab that secure as well. Now level 5 before the 850 birds. That's definitely solid because you want that breaks into level 6 and even level 7 as fast as possible, Kyle.
Yeah, 850 birds. Here comes a wicked blow, clears that, but a nice superpower from Buzzwole. They're going to get A pressed and then pressed back to the Pokemon Center by the Snorlax. They're going to continue pressing forward on Phoenix. And wow, War Legion wins this top path early. A lot of points are raining down on this tier 1 goal.
Look at the wicked blow already having a ton of value against the pursuit. And I mean, that's just kind of what happens to something like Absol. Even if you get a big pursuit hit, if you get hit by the wicked blow, that basically negates what happened with your pursuit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Wicked blower Shifu, single striker Shifu, looking to get to level 7 here already. 8-minute birds coming towards this central area. Buzzwole trailed by this Wigglytuff. Luna gonna look to get some vision. I haven't seen if it's the Sing Wiggly yet, but I imagine that's usually the more popular set. A lot of these central birds going over to Phoenix.
Yeah, Wigglytuff gonna circle around here. Here comes Trevenant, and a big pursuit jumps in with the sucker punch, grabbing Snorlax. Really, really good pick for Phoenix. That's what they needed to kind of shift the momentum back in their favor right here. Urshifu not getting chased down with the fire spin, caught out by the wood hammer, and they are bonked right back to the Pokemon Center. Here comes Talonflame with the hit is the sucker punch. Hoopa taking down the Absol, though. Talonflame does eventually go down.
Yeah, nice play here for Phoenix. Able to get a huge pick on the Urshi. Now they break that goal, maybe a tad early, but that's okay. They're going to have a lot of space to take these birds along with this potential bottom objective. And, Husky, with the Hoopa as well, I never mind breaking these goals a little bit early.
Yeah, I was just going to say, even if that is an early break or not the best overcap they could have gotten, making sure the Hoopa's value is not as valuable as it could be is really important.
Ooh, huge engage. Great sing and awareness. Buzzwole able to chunk down a lot of the members of War Legion. They do break that tier 1 pad, does War Legion, but this Regieleki is here for the taking for Phoenix. It's just the Snorlax that might try to get in, but a nice zoning play. Luna, heavily aware, sings the song of the people, and this Regieleki is pushing in towards tier 1.
Who needs a healer when you can get KOs? It looks like this pad is going to be broken before the Regieleki can hit it, so that means it is going to be walking into the tier 2. Snorlax going to grab a couple points here. Here goes Absol jumping in with another sucker punch, but the Water Burst Shuriken coming in from Greninja. Unfortunately, they are caught because Wigglytuff picking up a double.
How broken is Sing? Here comes a big flame sweep, though. Takes out 2. Now they're going to try to fly onto this Buzzwole, make it a 3-piece potentially, but no! Nice Ultra Swole Slam gives them shields, keeps them alive, but here comes a big fly. There goes the Buzzwole, but nice play. Nice wood hammer chopping down that Talonflame.
The Buzzwole knew they were going down, but they weren't going to go down without getting that last laugh on Talonflame because they got the smackdown out right as they were going down. So Talon still went down anyway. They got hit up into the air, right back where they came from. Looks like War Legion going to be able to stop this Regieleki top, but Urshifu taking down Delphox in the bottom path.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Delphox. Utilize the fanciful fireworks, but nice little play here. Absol pursuit in motion. Nice wood hammer to stun it out. Absol closes out the Urshifu. The Phantom Forest comes out, and now we have wood hammer that misses just the mark, just a tad. Oh, nice superpower. Keeps Hoopa from going through that portal, and that's a 3-piece combo for this Absol. Now they're looking to take some of the jungle area. No, they're going to go score.
Absol's looking really solid, getting the 25 in. Only Greninja is here to try to stop it with that Water Shuriken. Here comes the fly, but the Wigglytuff Unite move is out to prevent the jump pads from getting the knockups. Really good heads-up play by the Wigglytuff right there, but still the Talonflame is here with the 1 HP. Absol picking up yet another KO.
Wow. Absol is absolutely eating right now. Almost level 13 at the 4.5-minute mark. This Urshifu just hasn't been able to get the KOs that they've wanted. They've gotten a couple here. I mean, looking at the map, they have 3, but look at the 8 from that Absol. Talonflame able to grab this tree, though, and they're going to push towards this tier 1.
4 members of War Legion now pushing in on this Buzzwole, who's caught out. Talonflame with the double KO. Here comes Absol, and the rings are unbound. It looks like Phoenix is just going to have to back up and give, except Absol going with the Midnight Slash, but it doesn't do anything, and Talonflame now getting a return triple KO of their own.
Oh, that's rough. You don't really want to lose Absol in that moment. I see the play with the Unite move, but unfortunately for them, they just didn't have the damage, especially with 4 members there. Now, War Legion's just going to have to deal with this Regieleki. Ribbon's going to try to get her level 13. That's going to come very quickly, I think. Buzzwole's going to be down in this bottom path, and we are going to have a basement Reggie soon.
Yeah, the 13 on a Mystical Fire Spin Delphox basically just means if you hit your Mystical Fires, you get permanent Mystical Fires and Fire Spins. So that's going to be huge for her if she can get that Snorlax with the block, pushing the Buzzwole out, followed by a Sing to make sure they're protected, and Talonflame is caught out in the backline. Big Sucker Punch hits them, going to have to use the Flame Sweep. They pick up 2 with it, but it's not going to be enough. They do get taken down.
Beautiful Sing here by Luna. She is playing this character to perfection, able to time those Sings out with the flies from Talonflame, make sure Talonflame isn't able to do too much once it lands. Nice play there. You pick up the Reggie for Phoenix. They're going to just have a little bit of time to farm up on the map. Minute till Rayquaza. They have a little bit of a score lead. A little bit down, maybe a tad on the levels, but overall, looking like a pretty even match, all things considered.
Yeah, the score is very close right here. Everyone's grabbing their Unite moves. Ribbon will tick back into it. It's Delphox after all, and I imagine the Talonflame will get theirs as well. So it's going to be a very clean Rayquaza fight here. And even though Phoenix has been looking really solid all game, that doesn't mean War Legion can't win a fight here. The score lead is not that different. Absol looking to pick up this blue buff, get as big as they can. 2 level 14s on Phoenix. So if they can leverage that to the best of their ability, that could be really solid for them. But look at this Absol getting caught out right away, having to use their Unite move. Snorlax trying to chase them down, and they had to do everything in their power not to get caught out. And that's exactly what I mean when if you catch a level 14 Pokemon out, that's huge.
Yeah, luckily for Barry, they do not go down, so they live to fight another day. Snorlax looking a nice heavy slam, but there's no follow-up, but here come the rings unbound. Snorlax takes a little power nap in the center of the Ray area. Fly is true, but the Flame Sweep does miss. Big fire spins coming out from Ribbon, and Snorlax is going down. Everybody's spinning around like a ballerina, and War Legion's just going to have to back up here. Hoopa's going to send people through the portals, but they don't go through. 3 members down. This might be time for Phoenix to rise.
Ribbon just catching everybody in those fire spins right there. No one had a chance to even make it in, but still, there's not enough rip on Phoenix to actually be able to do the Rayquaza, and that means it is open for War Legion to try to go back cap. 1 small back cap would put them in the lead here. So it's going to be interesting to see how Phoenix approaches this final fight. They could try to make sure they secure it with the Rayquaza, or they could just try to defend as much as possible and wait to see if they can stop a potential back cap coming from War Legion. Because honestly, I don't think War Legion will go for this Rayquaza either.
I don't think so. They are setting up here. Urshifu looked like they might have wanted to go, but they are just going to hang out in this tall grass in the top part of the area. Here goes Greninja, but they get chunked down. Curve suit from the Absol. Nice double team, but they snuff out some of the clones and get the KO. 25-second KO timer for that Greninja. Delphox is super low, but not before sending out those fanciful fireworks. Snorlax just hanging out in this Ray Pit, and it's just going to be a bunch of defense from these two teams. Ribbon's going to go try to scat, but the Flame Charge is able to take her out with 10 seconds. Looks like Phoenix is taking game number 1, Husky.
Snorlax going to try to put 8 points in, but there's not going to have enough time to do it, and it wouldn't have been enough anyway. Solid game from Phoenix that we just saw. The games were pretty close the entire time. However, Phoenix coming out on top in the end, just deciding to defend that Rayquaza was a really good call. If they went to rip on that, it was really possible that War Legion could have taken it, especially with something like a Wicked Blow. But you never know when teams are going to just decide to go ahead for the rip. So they had to be ready for it regardless.
Yeah, they got to be ready. 74k damage from Barry. You called it there. That could have been a very scary pick if Snorlax along with Talonflame was able to take them out in that moment. But unfortunately for Roar Legion, they were not able to. Looking at across the board, overall, I mean, it seemed like Phoenix got off to that score lead and never really looked back here, Husky.
Yeah. Absol looking really good in that game. I feel like Absol tends to be like a hit or miss, depending on the comp it's going into. And I thought an Absol into a Talonflame is not a great matchup, but Barry really able to time their sucker punches really well, make sure they were hitting the resets on their pursuits, and they looked solid.
Definitely. Let's taking a peek here. 35k from Greninja. I don't know, Husky. I mean, in a last pick, it just didn't seem like it had the damage output that was needed. And just an amazing bulk along with the Sing from Luna on that Wigglytuff. It didn't seem like Greninja was able to get a lot of those, executions that character really thrives on.
Yeah, I think that the Greninja was kind of there to act as like a mage damage dealer, right? They wanted to do some poke damage. They wanted to be able to hit with as much of those water shurikens as possible, and it didn't end up working out for them as well as they thought it would. Greninja, again, it's one of those Pokemon that can be really good sometimes and just not look great other times. I feel like all auto attackers are kind of like that. It just needs a bit of something for it to be able to get there. And unfortunately, in that game, the Absol just jumped in on it so hard that it was unable to make anything happen.
Yeah, I absolutely love that Wiggly pick. It's not a Pokemon that you see a lot, but how much value did that thing add? It just didn't seem like that Talonflame really could do anything. It would try to dive in, and Luna was able to pop that Sing perfectly. The fly would land, it would go right to sleep, and it seemed like more times than not, Talonflame couldn't even get out.
Yeah, the Wigglytuff pick, I feel like people remember that Wiggly is good for like 5 seconds sometimes, and then everyone's like, wow, Wiggly's insane for like 2 weeks, and then they forget about it. But Wigglytuff, the problem with Wigglytuff is you're either picking it in place of a healer or you're picking it as your tank. And a lot of times you want to make sure that you have a healer pick on your team, because healing is just one of the most valuable resources you can have. But it was a really interesting strategy for Phoenix to go with instead the Wigglytuff as your kind of control support, whereas they went with the traditional defender type of pick in that Trevenant instead without the addition of a healer, and it really did work for them. I feel like that's a risky play to take, not to go with a strong healer, but they played it really well.
Yeah, I completely agree. I do want to just kind of show, what got us here. I'm going to show a little bit of the bracket right now and kind of where we stand. So a huge upset, right? I like we talked about this. War Legion, the 8 seed, taking down version 1 in round 1, sending them to this matchup. So not an easy team to take down. Obviously, the 2-time reigning champs. It's tough to take down the champs anytime, but I'm excited to see what this team does. Obviously, they played really well that game, but Phoenix is looking so strong. I'm honestly so impressed by the turnaround that this team has. Adding in Mari, adding in obviously Ribbon getting to play this for them this time, and not just taking that coaching role. I'm so excited. I'm so happy for this team, but they have one more game until they could go on towards the next round.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy for them after that game, but they have to continue showing what they've got in this next game as well. War Legion took down the reigning champions, so they're definitely not a team to scoff at. So Phoenix has to make sure they're continuing to bring their A game here as we get into the draft for our next match.
Yeah, and same picks for the paper band. So I'm a happy camper. I don't have to change my overlays. Love that. No Leafia, no nice Charizard.
Job, you're doing great.
No Leafia, no Charizards. Always strong, and it seemed like both teams were happy with those ones.
Yeah, the Slowbro band coming out again. Unsurprising, as we like to call them, standard issue bands. But we do have Tree being banned here from War Legion. They do not want to see that on Phoenix again. The Tree was so oppressive. I personally always ban Tree as well, so I'm totally on board with that. And the Gyarados Blaziken bands that we saw last time. So that means Umbreon is an option for Phoenix in this first pick slot.
Yeah, it's always a good pick, right? I mean, we saw a lot of teams this weekend take that Umbreon, and that's exactly what is going to be happening. It right now. I mean, looking at this, Husky, if this stays with this player, I believe that, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that's Mari. It's a top lane Umbreon.
Yeah, they could be playing it as a top lane. It's not a bad pick to go into a lot of the meta top laners right now. We are going to see the Mamoswine pick from War Legion. So as we saw, Mamoswine did win Worlds as predicted by Zoinks. So Mamoswine we know is very strong. Look at the Blastoise being hovered for Phoenix right now. And they do go ahead and pick it. They're going back with this really interesting composition. But Ribbon is going to continue with that Delphox. She looked absolutely insane on it last match.
I know, she did. She looks so good. I mean, level 13 at like 3 minutes as your bot lane attacker. You're never mad about that. Providing 100%. A ton of value, right? Like in that Ray fight, able to provide so much CC. I mean, it just didn't seem like War Legion was able to do anything. There was CC from Tree, there was CC from the Wiggly, there was CC from the Fire Spins. And now we have a very tanky comp here from Phoenix. We got that Blastoise. We saw that get picked a lot this weekend. And then something that we didn't see a single time, the Cinderace.
Yeah, for good reason, in my opinion, but I have seen before a Cinderace can cook with a really good front line. So if you're going the Blastoise Clefable core with the Umbreon tank as your tanky top laner, a Cinderace might be able to cook. The only problem is going to be making sure that Talonflame doesn't jump in on that Cinder and the Delphox. And I think that's going to be up to the Blastoise to make sure they're timing their surfs properly, make sure they have the Hydro Pumps ready. So even if the Talonflame does land a good fly, they can just get pushed right back out.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm taking a peek here at the comp for War Legion. Getting the Mew, so we got... Yeah, I think we might have a double beam here, Husky. Double beam all the way across. All the way across the sky.
You know what they say, crossing beams is kind of like the meta right now, I think. At least that's what I've heard floating around. You got to cross the beams. Everyone's got to do it once.
Yeah, for the culture. For the culture.
Yeah, you got to, with the homies, cross the beams with the homies, right?
If you don't cross beams with your homies, what are you even doing?
Yeah, I feel like that's a good band name. Kyle, we should make a band.
We should make a band. How about a rock band? Have you played Rock Band? Because I can't play any like real instrument. I play Rock Band.
Of course. Oh, here's Mooney, ready to come cast with us as well. She's prepared. Getting into our game number 2 here. Phoenix is up 1, but some interesting.
Yeah, here we go. Game number 2. We have Phoenix. We have War Legion. Phoenix again on your left side. And it is looking like we're taking this Umbi to the top lane, Husky.
Yeah, exactly what we saw. The double stacking Umbreon heading to the top path with Luna on her signature Clefables. We do have the Squirtle and Delphox heading into the bottom path. Eldegoss coming in for an early invade. They're going to look for the steal, but Cinderace is able to pick it up, and they're just going to try to auto-attack this Eldegoss back out.
Yeah, but look at this. A little bit sneaky, a little bit cheeky. It's that Swinub able to take our blue buff away from Phoenix. Barry also going down there. Nice little push pressure from this Talonflame. And wow, our War Legion looking pretty good in this early part.
Yeah, I feel like the early game strategies are really interesting for War Legion. They go for the bit of a double invade and kind of jump around while Luna was going for some stacks. They take her down as well. Only Umbreon with that top path Umbreon right now. Only level 4, but still with the foul plays pushing that Venusaur into the goal pad. Not going to be enough for members of War Legion in this top path.
Yeah, uh-oh. A lot of those birds do go over to the side of War Legion, and now they're going to pressure this tier 1 goal. It is Cinderace. It's the little reboot that could. Unfortunately for Clefable, they're going down in an earlier round. 8 points remain on that top goal after this first little pressure from War Legion, and they're not done. They're looking to invade once again.
Yes, I mean, that's the thing with Cinderace. You know that it's a late game scaling Pokemon. You know it kind of sucks early, so invading it as much as possible to prevent it from getting online is kind of the play. Talonflame already level 7, just going to run into the jungle, forcing Luna to come and babysit the reboot right now to make sure that the blue buff doesn't get taken. Because though we say our blue buff, that's not what Phoenix wants.
No, it's not what you want at all. Reboot is going to have to utilize their eject button there, but Talonflame is running dangerously low. Here comes Ribbon. Oh, the fly is just in time. And Talonflame getting away on 1 HP in a dream, but taking our blue buff once again is War Legion. It's the Eldegoss this time.
The Eldegoss just like trotting out right there. They're kind of doing like the serving walk with the blue buff. They're like kind of sauntering away after they stole it. And Uppies for the Delphox getting picked up and KO'd by the Eldegoss. This Eldegoss right now, how broken is Eldegoss?
Yeah, Eldegoss A-Presses are pretty broken. And here comes this Mamoswine, the Piloswine, able to get another a bit of pressure and CC into this front line of Phoenix. And here we go again. Uppies again, this time onto the Cinderace. Cinderace gonna use that Blaze Kick to try to reposition themselves, press their A button, and that A button does a lot of damage.
But now that Mamoswine once again picking up the War Turtle with the big eject button, and Cinderace does get a return KO on the Eldegoss, so kind of a little bit of get-backs from the taking of the blue buff earlier. But now we do have Cinderace with the level 8, and we do have Fire Spins available, but look at Talonflame in this bush, jumping on the Delphox, and the beam hits them from downtown, taking them out.
Oh, here comes the Flame Sweep, and that one doesn't hit a wall. That only hits 3 Pokemon, and now War Legion's they're not done. They're out for blood. They're out for this bottom goal, and they're getting a ton of value, and that goal is gone. Quadra KO for Talonflame, and they're looking to peel towards this Regice. No harm, no foul. They're going to be able to clear this out pretty much uncontested because Phoenix is just going to have to back and try to farm their map.
Huge start for War Legion right now, and they're kind of a little harassing this tier 2 pad, but they're not going to commit to a push here. Look at the Venusaur, already level 10 and a half, and now War Legion's just going to move up through Phoenix's jungle. They're not even just saying our blue buff, they're saying our jungle entirely as Talon comes down with a big fly. Here comes the Fire Spin to try to stop War Legion's reign of terror over the jungle. Here comes that top path. Umbreon looking for a big foul play, but the fly is there on the Delphox, and they grab the KO. Flame Sweep pushing 2 into the wall, and Clefable also going down here, Kyle.
Oh, the Talonflame's looking like a great pick here. Mew's gonna get to clean that up. War Turtle going down this time. Cinderace is gonna have to hold on to the pad, get some shields, and maybe hope for dear life that War Legion doesn't want to push because they've been able to do whatever they've wanted to do this entire game. But Umbreon comes in, helps clean up this Eldegoss. That is a needed KO here for Phoenix. Here at the halfway mark, it's looking pretty rough. 242 to 18.
Yeah, and Blastoise just ticked into level 7, so they still don't have a Unite move in the halfway point. And a Mamoswine jumping in, looking for a pick on anybody. If they can grab someone and turn them over to that Venusaur, that could be really huge. Umbreon jumping in, they grab the Mamoswine with a foul play, but a huge Solar Beam chunking half of Cinderace's health.
Yeah, here comes Mamoswine. Mammoth Mash is going to try to take out this Blastoise, but it's the beam that hits them, that takes them down. And look at that, bottom path. It doesn't look like War Legion is taking their foot off the pedal. Like, it's all gas, no brake. They're going to score some more points, and they're taking the jungle. They're taking these goals. This basement tier 2 pad is at 4 right now. We do have a basement Reggie. Phoenix is lined up, 4 members here looking to take it. Talonflame's going to try to fly on in. We do have a Regirock.
Yeah, they grab the Delphox in that fly with the Flame Sweep. Not able to pick up any KOs just yet, but another fly is available. They're going to grab the Umbreon and a big Hydro Typhoon, but it is immediately Cowabummer because it hits absolutely no one. Verdant Anger comes out to grab the Cinderace, and now War Legion is just picking members off one by one.
Yeah, triple KO once again for this Talonflame. They're going to just fly on away, but that tier 2 goal is down for Phoenix. They need
I got to say
something.
Cowabummer this time.
You did.
Are
You
you proud of me?
absolutely did. I'm so proud of you.
I got the Cowabummer, guys. Can we
Regirock
get
gonna
some
be.
Cowabummers in chat?
Can we get it? Yeah, can we get a Cowabummer? Regirock going over into the handbag of War Legion. They're gonna take that, and Talonflame's gonna maybe look for a cheeky cap in the base of Phoenix.
Only Talonflame would be able to pull something like that. They are going to grab a base score. It's just disrespectful. And it looks like, I mean, Ribbon looking for a level 11. If that's all she can get, then, you know, that's kind of the least you have to do. On Delphox, another fly is available. Avoids the fire spin, jumps right in on that Delphox. They hit them once, but they're 1 HP right now. Looking for the fire spin on Chunty. That would be a huge pickup if they can get it. But Talonflame has the fly, and they are able to make it out.
Ugh. Unfortunate. I thought for a second that fire spin was going to hone in, get the spin, get the KO. That would have been a massive chunk of XP that Phoenix so desperately needs. With 30 seconds until this Rayquaza, they have a mountain to climb if they want to get back in this game.
I think that they just kind of have to hope for the Ray fight, hope that there's some inting from War Legion or something like that, hope they get a little bit excited. They can't afford to make more mistakes right now. They can't go up to that top path. They're just going to have to defend the Regieleki, position for Rayquaza, and hope that they can win a fight or hope that they can get an early pick or something like that. I mean, we have Umbreon potentially getting spotted out right now. Instead, Phoenix are just going to go ahead and let this Regieleki in. It could mean that Talon could go for a bit of a backup. Looks like that's exactly what they're doing. Now both teams kind of avoiding getting into a fight right now, but Umbreon does start the engage.
Yeah, here we go. Moonlight Prance, Hydro Typhoon, Verdant, Anger, all Unite moves getting expended, but it's the Talonflame and the Venusaur that are finding the last laughs here. Another Flame Sweep going to be going in. 3 members down for Phoenix, and they're looking to be turned into ash, and it's just this Clefable that's up, and War Legion is going to look to take this Rayquaza. Not a lot of damage. Can we get a basic attack steal from Clefable? No, it's Venusaur taking the Ray.
Venusaur with the beam. The beams were in fact crossed, but it's Venusaur's to end up picking up that Rayquaza secure, and War Legion just having an absolutely dominant game. Last time the Talonflame didn't quite work, but this time Chunty was like, trust, bro. I promise that first game on. Let me run the Talonflame back, and it absolutely went insane this game. I don't think, even with a minute left, I don't think Phoenix can do anything about this 513, nearly 500 point lead.
Yeah, 513-18 is your score currently. I'm not going to see, I really just don't think there's a whole lot of time on the clock. There's not enough money in these pockets, especially now that Talon's able to get another 40 in. I'm taking a peek here. I mean, they have some points, but 693 now. It's just not looking feasible for Phoenix.
Yeah. War Legion can give up, honestly, both pads. They could probably give up all of their pads right now and be absolutely fine, but they are going to look to defend here. Clefable going down on that tier 2 pad. Mamoswine and Blastoise kind of duking it out right now. They get the uppies right on that Blastoise, but it's kind of 2 defenders that are super tanky fighting each other. Really not gonna get much done there. 4 members of Phoenix going down on that push. And Venusaur kind of being the hero. Venusaur, Talonflame, core damage dealers kind of being the heroes of this match.
Yeah, 100%. We're going to take a peek at these final scores here. 693, 136 is your final. Barry versus...
I think the auto attacker... late game scaling comp that Phoenix went with might just not be it with what War Legion had. They had some early invaders kind of able to take over there, and Phoenix could just not get online quick enough to prevent anything that War Legion was doing, especially in the early game. And then once they lost the early game, they just couldn't figure out how to get back in it.
Yeah, it was just those invades were too much, right?
Yeah, the early
Unfortunate.
invades. And look at the Venu. Being able to knock, I don't think the Venusaur got caught a single time that match. Without the ability to dive in on that Venusaur backline, that's really, really hard to deal with those solar beams. I mean, they have Cinderace, but that's your backline damage. They have a Delphox, that's backline damage. And though they have a Surf, they have a Foul Play, that's not enough dive to grab that Venusaur.
100%. 100%. 693, 136 is your final. Chunty, that Talonflame, it didn't look good game one. So I wonder if Phoenix is going to be able to go back to something similar to what they did with game one. I really liked the Wigglytuff into it. Obviously, Tree was banned, so they couldn't play that, but maybe something more, a supporter that's able to offer a little bit more CC to kind of slow that thing down.
I think they could use a bit more dive on that comp. I think it was a good idea to want to go for a bit of a tankier front line with some heavy backline damage, but I think Phoenix could have used some dive, especially with a Talonflame that can get in on your backline and you have nothing that can get in on that Venusaur. And the 106,000 damage, Venusaur was just pumping solar beam after solar beam into the faces of Phoenix. They need an answer to something like that. But I feel like the Venusaur is only going to be picked when that is the case, where it's not going to be able to be dove like that. So I think Phoenix needs to kind of have an answer to this early game that they seem to struggle with in game number 2.
Yeah, 100%. Ooh, yeah, this is going to be really exciting. Game number 3, spot in the I believe this is the winners semifinals. I guess winners finals would be next. I don't know. I always forget what the
something like that.
Winners finals is next, then the grand finals, right?
We are going to have the second set of the night, and both times going to game 3 here on cast. So could go either way. Both teams have looked great so far in both games. I feel like Phoenix had a really dominant game 1. War Legion had a really dominant game 2. So it's going to depend on what team comes on top in our third game here. I think that we could see some strategy change-ups. We could see some interesting picks. We've seen some really fun drafts so far from both of these teams. So I hope they kind of keep up that energy, and we'll see what happens.
Alrighty, amazing, wonderful. I'm taking a look to see what is going on in the chat, talking about which bands we're gonna get on the paper. And I love these two teams. Same bands, no Leafeon, no Charizard for either team. Good. Don't want them. Don't need them.
No, we already have we have plenty of fire Pokemon. You don't need Charizard. We have Delphox and we have Talonflame that have performed great so far in this set. We don't need the flying dragon thing that is Charizard, whatever it is, flying lizard. I don't know.
Right.
We don't need it.
Don't need it. Don't want it. Hate it.
Leafeon's still really, really solid. Me and Garrett were talking about it in the first set. Leafeon's a really strong pick. We saw it look really strong in Worlds as well. Not surprised to see it banned, but that means that it gives the opportunity for other speedsters like the Talonflame, like the Absol that we saw in Game 1, to kind of come back into this meta without the Leafeon, which is, the earliest scaling speedster that we have. It's not as difficult for something like a Talonflame to kind of run over this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like teams are ready. I'm excited. I love game 3s. This is good. You're going to see some.
Game 3s are great.
Either you're going to see something, you're going to see people on their comfort picks, things that they know that they can perform on, or you're going to see the exact same comps like we saw in a couple matches in Worlds.
What was it? Orange Juicers Fusion the first time?
Yeah.
They just went with the exact same thing 3 times. That was great. I think these teams, something like Grassroots that has like tournament bans and paper bans, like something that can allow for more picks to come up. I think that's really cool for letting teams do some interesting things with their drafts. So we could see something like that again. Both of these teams have proven that so far, making some interesting picks. And we do have the Slowbro Trevenant bans again, hovering the Venusaur ban potentially, but instead Barry is gonna go ahead and ban this Talonflame. They don't want to see it again.
Yeah, I won't see it either. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, it looked so good in that last match. It didn't seem like they had any sort of answer for it. You would think that something like the Delphox would have some answer for it, right? Those fire spins. But it just, the Talonflame was so fast, it was able to outfly those fire spins, so it didn't really have any effect on it. We're going to see Blaziken, though. Here we go. Mari on the Blaziken. Let's go.
Yeah, the Absol was banned out on War Legion's side, so that gave the opportunity for Blaziken to get picked up. And then right back on the other end, that gives the opportunity for Gyarados to come into the match, so War Legion grabs that. And the Wigglytuff is now back for Phoenix.
Ooh, there it is. I'm excited, but this time it is on eggs, so this might be more filled in that traditional defender spot. I was gonna.
Guys, he made a mistake.
Guys, he made a mistake. Get him. Hang him by the stakes. Yeah, blame Kyle. I wasn't gonna let myself not correct it because every time I make a mistake, you just make fun of me for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I had to call it out before you called it out.
Yeah, I absolutely will. And you're right about the Wigglytuff. It is looking like it's going to be filling the traditional defender slot because Luna has selected the Blissey in the support role. And we have, again, this kind of double mage for Phoenix. They're not going with anything with strong dive once again, but the Talonflame is banned, so that may work out. And the Venusaur is getting picked up again for War Legion. I really think that's a good pick to round out this squad.
Yeah, I think it is a pretty good pick. Yeah, again, you're gonna have more of a double mage, right? You know, Venusaur and the Delphox, but seeing some item switches here by this Venusaur might. Okay, we're going back. We're going back to the Venusaur. Yeah. I was like, no way do they go Petal Giga here, especially with no like speedster or like really brawlers.
Not into a Sing Wiggly.
Yeah, also that would have been scary.
Yeah, not into a Sing Wiggly. I mean, we do see the Hyper Voice kind of set up on this Sylveon, but they could go Mystical Fire as well. Ribbon is one of the Sylveon players that is, like, she's very, very well known for her Sylveon play, so she can kind of do anything with that Pokemon. She's very comfortable with it. As you can see, she's got a gold ribbon on that thing. So everyone kind of bringing out their A games, bringing out picks that they're comfortable with here in this game number 3, especially over on Phoenix. War Legion going to stick with the Mamoswine, which looked fantastic in the last round as well. So once again, a game 3, everything's on the line here. It's going to be a really interesting game.
Absolutely. Game number 3, Phoenix versus War Legion. Phoenix once again on your purple side, War Legion on your orange side. And we have routes going to be going to the jungle for Phoenix along with Venusaur for War Legion.
And Magikarp heading into the top path with the Eldegoss, who is going to start moving through the central area. The Eldegoss swine up, double invade early. Very classic move right here, looking to grab some of the buffs. And it is a good choice for War Legion to do, but Ralts is going to go ahead and grab that red buff away. They are a difficult clearing Pokemon early, so the invade is really strong.
Yeah, invade is very strong here. You see how tanky this swine hub is, but here comes the Hyper Voice. Just scream at it. It'll chunk it down quite a bit. They're going to have to force out their eject button, but Ribbon's going to be coming again. Another Hyper Voice takes them down. Ribbon on her signature.
And that's the answer, right? The Sylveon getting online very early, making sure they have their level 4 so that they're able to meet their buddies in the central area to make sure the Kirlia doesn't get too far behind. They are a Kirlia, but on the return, Gyarados is already a very, very early Gyarados.
Yeah, that's never something that you want to see. Are they able to clear that out? Eldegoss, how broken are AA presses for Eldegoss? Able to steal that away from Blissey. Barry's going to look to take some of that, but Eldegoss is not done pressuring this jungle area. They're going to continue to hover, but here comes Mari looking to chunk them down. Gyarados on the trail, but Ribbon is right there to respond. Hyper Voice going to zone them away.
Yeah, they're going to have to just move back. Both teams kind of spreading back out. But now that Phoenix knows War Legion has an eye on their central area, Luna's just going to have to follow this Kirlia around, make sure they can protect them on their way. But they are still a Chansey, so they do need a bit more farm to evolve. They do end up getting that evolution. The Sing jumping in on multiple members of War Legion to zone them out here. But now the Delphox for War Legion is online and has gone with the Fire Blast.
Oh my gosh, what a great scream there by Ribbon. Great sing as well from Wigglytuff to slow War Legion away. A nice push, nice blaze kick from Chicken to push the Swinub back in, but here comes Gyarados on the response. Are they going to be able to get in and bounce on in? No. It looks like a nice zone out here from this Wiggly, but the beam chunks them down. They're going back to the Pokemon Center.
Oh, the beam. The beam is now online once again, and that's going to be really, really tough for Phoenix to deal with. Look at the Gyarados' positioning, able to get a big bounce on top of the Kirlia and the Blissey, looking to steal away some farm. They do get it. Some Psyshocks raining down on them, but it is not enough. The Gyarados with the shields, able to take down two. They finally go down to the Hyper.
Yeah, here comes the Fairy Frolic. We're going to chase down this Delphox. They do find them, but Delphox is kind of swimming away. The Fire Spin is out, but Ribbon is better. Are they able to get the KO? Yes. Venusaur finds the beam, but it's a little bit wide. Wigglytuff, Blissey, Core. We got the pink blobs down in the bottom path, and we also have a Registeel.
The pink team in the bottom path, ready to take on the core of War Legion. Here comes a Sing, looking to sleep that Piloswine, but here comes the Uppies, bringing the Wigglytuff back into the goal zone. The beam is true, finds Wiggly chunking most of their health, but Blissey is there as well. Overheat, huge on that Eldegoss, picking them up right away, and Phoenix is going to try to take this Registeel. They do take it with the Egg Bomb.
Oh, how broken are eggs right now. Double KO for the Blaziken as well. Phoenix is going to try to get some points in. 20, 30. We do the math here in this AUL playoffs game number 3. Wigglytuff getting a KO on Piloswine, and Phoenix is purring right now as another KO gets rained in from Mari. Look at this push here by Phoenix. They're gonna keep on going into this tier 2. More points raining in. Another double, but here comes the response with the fanciful fireworks from War Legion.
Fanciful Fireworks comes out. They do pick up Wiggly. Gyarados hitting A on that thing, and they take it out. So no more pushing for Phoenix. Blaziken also going down here. So Phoenix is going to have to back up, make sure they get ready for potential push into their bottom path. And I go for that push every time. It's pre 5 minutes. You want to try to extend a score lead a little bit. They lost a couple.
Yeah, here we go. Basement path. Gyarados gonna bounce on away. Ribbon's on the pursuit. They have to use the eject button. Great play from Phoenix to respond to the scores. 5-minute mark. Halfway point in this match. And right now, I mean, you look at these levels, it seems that, Phoenix has a little bit of an advantage along with their score advantage.
Yeah, I feel like the Hyper Voice is just the hero of this match right now. They're really, really chunking down War Legion despite them being a tanky team composition. And the way that Ribbon is playing it, she's able to position herself kind of outside the fight. So she's not diving in, but she's kind of staying off to the side so she can hit the Hyper Voices.
Oh, here comes the Dragon Current, but nice Fairy Frolic to dodge it. Fanciful Fireworks is out. Here comes another bounce. Wigglytuff is going to be going down. We have the Bliss Assist onto onto this Blaziken, but they're going down now. Oh, 2 members, make it 3 members end up going down in that fight. And Mamoswine on the hot pursuit to try to take out this Gardevoir, but Barry stands true, able to stay away from the pig.
That's exactly what War Legion needed to kind of shift the momentum back in their favor. Phoenix had a great early game, but now that Gyarados is level 12, they've got a level 11 Solar Beam. You know, War Legion is online and ready to fight, so that was really exactly what they needed. Looks like most members are moving down here into this bottom path. 5 members of Phoenix now working on this Regirock, while 2 members of War Legion are just going to go ahead and take Regieleki in the top path.
Yeah, Regirock going to go into the handbag once again of Phoenix. We're going to take to see. We do have these objectives get traded. Like you said, Regieleki goes over to War Legion, and Phoenix is just going to have to defend. They're going to probably keep 1 member in the bot path, make sure no back caps go in. But this should be able to clear this out real quick. Nice little lead here from War Legion, 190-149 with a minute until Ray.
I really, really like the way that both teams have kind of positioned themselves in this mid to late game section because, you know, there's not too much farm on the map, but you don't want to leave any farm up for too long because you never know where someone from the enemy team is at. Looks like the middle is starting to get a little bit crowded. Ribbon trying to move in right there. She pops the Calm Mind, goes for the blue buff right here. 2 members of War Legion having to back off. Maybe they were looking for a bit of a sneaky score, so they're going to have to back off. Of members of chasing them down. They're just going to go ahead and peel away.
Yeah, 20 seconds till Ray. I think Phoenix, the play is just kind of get set up in this Ray pit, get advantage, get vision, and be ready for this fight. You do have a little bit of a score deficit to make up.
Look at the Gyarados' positioning right now. Phoenix does not know where they are. Fire Spin catches the Blaziken, so they know where Phoenix is at. But the Gyarados is looking for a flank right here, Kyle.
Yeah, Gyarados looking for some vision. They are going to try to move on in. We're going to see where this engage goes. Oh, there it is. Gyarados goes right onto the Blaziken, but can't get the KO. Nice little peel back by Phoenix to respond to that dive. And they stay healthy, at least for the time being. Rayquaza still not getting touched.
Both teams just kind of poking right now, staying together as a unit. Phoenix doesn't want to get too spread out right here, but also War Legion doesn't want to group up either. Is available. Mamoswine having to move to the top path to try to defend. Fire Spin catching the Blaziken. Some members getting chipped down right here in this bottom area, and it looks like the Dragon Current is in, Kyle.
Yeah, big Dragon Current, but they don't get the KOs that they need. Phoenix is able to have some of the Starlight Recital shields go in, but Dragon, wow, Gyarados goes down. The Fanciful Fireworks are out. Wigglytuff in the Chaos goes down, and now Blissey from the Mammoth Mash is going down, and Ribbon's just the last member standing for Phoenix, and it looks like War Legion's gonna peel to this Ray. It's at half. Ribbon's gonna try to chunk down Mamoswine. Mamoswine picks it up for the uppies, and wow, oh, here comes the beam. War Legion able to take it, and Phoenix just has to stand there and watch as some of these burgers go in.
Very Singularity came out, but it missed every member of War Legion right there. They tried to catch some people in it, but they were too spread out, and the Bliss Assistant somehow landed on that Wigglytuff. I don't know if that was a mistake, and they went for the Blaziken, and it ended up targeting the Wigglytuff. But we didn't really get to see that as the team got kind of split up in the middle of that fight, and War Legion, very, very substantial fight right there. They're going to take that, likely going to win this game. 6 seconds left, not enough that Phoenix can do, and no time to do it. Another couple points do go in, but War Legion is taking your second set. Wow, Kyle.
Yeah, whoa, heartbreak for Phoenix. They're going to be losing this game number 3. They're going to be going down to the loser's side of the bracket, where they're going to have to climb their way back up to the grand finals. And they're going to have to meet some big team names down there. 590, 157 going to be your final. Oh, very, very sad for them. But look at this, Husky. The 8th seed War Legion has won both of their sets in an upset, taking down the reigning champs, taking down the previous team that was the runner-up last season. And they're showing everybody that they